Namaskar. Welcome to Conversations with Rakesh. Today I'm going to take up a question which I should have taken earlier, but nevertheless, this is the exam time. Millions of our children are writing exams. People in the corporate world are doing performance management. Results are expected soon or would have been announced. Some of us would be happy because, yay, we got great money, great admissions, but many of us are going through tremendous pressure and tremendous anxiety because we are worried that we will fail. Concept of failure in our society is quite a big problem, and I want to talk about it in this video. Let's first understand the anatomy of failure. And the anatomy of failure is that we were expecting to get something, we work very hard for that prize, we didn't get it, and there are series of emotions that happen that damage our self confidence, self esteem, and have a big impact on our future. The first is that we work very hard. The effort to prepare is huge. The opportunity cost, the headache, the social pressures we all go through, the sacrifices, all of that is a big opportunity chunk and effort. And when we don't get those marks and results and bonuses and promotions, we feel very bad. So that is a huge disappointment. And that disappointment translates to multiple emotions that damage our self esteem, self confidence. But the second part of the anatomy of failure is that while we have worked hard and we didn't get the results, there are others in the peer group who probably have worked less hard, or we don't know, and we don't know how much of they've worked hard, but they got more than us. So there is this comparison, and they are more happier than us, or they probably you feel that you deserved more because you worked harder, but they got more because they did not work hard. So there is this comparison based emotion that comes in, which is a lot more debilitating because you start thinking that यार मेरे को तो कुछ भी नहीं आता उसने बिल्कुल मेहनत नहीं करी पर ही इज सो गुड मैंने इतनी मेहनत करी मुझे कुछ नहीं मिला so you start doubting yourself and that kills our self esteem and completely ravages us and we are like down in the dumps. If there is one thing that I think we should give a Oscar or a Nobel Prize, like the Nobel Prize of damaging self-esteem, self-confidence in people, I think those are exams and education system. That award is already set. Let's not worry about it. Now let's understand a little bit forward that I think in this video I'm going to talk to you that many of you who have children, teenagers, are educators in schools, colleges, entrepreneurs, managers. I think all of us are going through a lot because this is the month where lots of results come out and many results are not conducive. So, what can you do to help our children, employees, teams deal with failure better? And that I think is a very good topic. Now, caution, I'm not going to give you a motivational lecture that thousand time failures will give success. Failure is very important for success. All that, there are plenty of motivational gurus, they do a better job. I मुझे समझ में नहीं आता. What I want to focus on is a systemic approach that I think the time has come for us to understand कि बॉस चल क्या रहा है ये क्या बार बार every year in March and April we have this huge spike in motivational videos कि believe in yourself, failure is important, and it's like patching the problem, right? I mean, the root cause is that the system is creating so much of pressure, fear, and anxiety, and that system is getting corrupted. And there is a huge debate on this whole system of exams, meritocracy. Is that really the right thing to do? Which is a huge debate, and we'll talk about it separately. But that system is getting corrupted. That part we know. And I'm not using the word corrupted in the wrong sense. I'm using the word in a sense that it is harming the people who are going through that. Their minds and mental wellness are getting severely damaged, including the extended families that they are connected with and the teachers that they are helpless. कि मतलब we all know कि the system is useless, but चलाए जा रहे हैं every year. So in this video, I'd like to offer few suggestions and ideas on what we can all do to make this slightly more bearable. And I have two words for you. I think it's time we introduce a concept in our education system, which is a course which focuses only on failing spectacularly. इतना बढ़िया fail करो कि failure doesn't look like a big problem anymore. What is a big problem of failure? Failure creates so much of negative emotions that it creates fear, anxiety, and pressure in the whole process. So if we find a way to help our learners and employees and entrepreneurs deal with that, I think that's where there will be some relief, if not all. And the answer is that let's create processes and programs where it becomes a little bit better to deal with failure. And there are so many examples worldwide that apply these concepts. We just have to adopt it in our Indian systems. The first is this concept called the Rube Goldberg machine. There was a cartoonist called Rube Goldberg. He used to make these strange diagrams of useless machines. Like one of the best example of how his useless machine works is that he would create these bits and pieces of moving parts, and basically if you make that machine work, it will probably just flip a switch. Basically a very useless machine, that's what the concept is. But उस flip switch करने के लिए कुछ हजारों पापड़ बेलने पड़ते थे. And that what this cartoonist used to draw. It caught the fancy of many directors and people in movies. If you go to YouTube and Google Rube Goldberg machines, you'll find plenty of them. In fact, one of the best advertisements made by Honda car was a Rube Goldstein machine, and they broke apart all the Honda parts and they made a video, and they connected it together, and basically it was a brilliant ad of a car from Honda. Charlie Chaplin used a Rube Goldberg machine in one of his movies where there is a factory. The person who runs the factory is concerned कि यार why do we give lunch break to our workers? If we take away the lunch break also and they're working while having lunch, we'll make more money. It's a satirical concept. So they've hired this big professor who makes this robotic machine, and Charlie Chaplin is the guinea pig. And Charlie Chaplin is made to stand on the conveyor belt, and he's supposed to work, and the machine is feeding him food, keep wiping his face and mouth, and it's a hilarious scene. But that's a Rube Goldberg machine that they did. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang had these machines which did funny things. So my request to all schools, colleges is that why don't we have a course where we ask our students to make nonsensical things, which are bound to fail, which are silly. But what will happen is that the fear and pressure and anxiety that our students experience will become a lot more bearable, because now the process will teach them that hey, this can be playful and fun, because we know it will fail, and it can be enthusiastic. If we teach our children how to fail quickly, I think it will change the dynamics of the whole education system. So please introduce a course. All of you, you could do it in your own home. If you are a parent, please ask your children to make some of the worst dishes they can ever make, because they are bound to fail, and they're going to work hard when it comes to that. They might get creative, that why don't we mix these horrible ingredients, because they are bound to fail. And that's where their creative processes will wake up, and they might be comfortable in failing. I was in this cousin's wedding, and my nephews and nieces were heavily inspired by this YouTube channel called Trick Shots, where you throw bottles, small, small bottles of water, and like, it should go round and round and fall on a table, and it should stand erect. And you keep doing that. And I thought it was a very silly thing to do, but my nephews and nieces started having competitions. And throughout the marriage, they were in one side playing with bottles and throwing it so that they land on the table. And the more you get that right, the more joy they would get. And I tried it, and it was amazing. It was silly, it was bound to fail, but I had a great time. In fact, go check out YouTube channels with trick shots. They have these very strange things. Like there is this guy who takes a table tennis ball, and there are lots of cups in front of him, and he throws the ball on one side. It bounces to the other side, then flips it on the other side, and like that it goes till the end, and there's like a cup and it falls inside the cup. To do that, the amount of practice and effort they would have done is mind blowing. But it's fun, it's joyful, it suddenly changes the dynamics of failing. So please introduce trick shots, Rube Goldberg machines, competitions that fail early so that our children fail spectacularly. And my last concept is, many of us, when we go to social media, we see these photographs of people celebrating when they are successful, which is fine. I mean, they have worked hard and they deserve it. But my sincere request is that that doesn't mean that they are not failing. These are two different concepts. I know that when you fail and somebody succeeds, that jealousy is very bitter. There is a full video I've dedicated on jealousy and bitterness. Please take a look at that. But that should not be a yardstick for you. That person would have failed million times. So my request is, switch on social media and find those people who also fail and talk about failing very openly. In fact, all of us should document failures. As entrepreneurs, I found these two books which are very good for us to discuss about failing. The first book, which one of my friend wrote, my friend is an amazing person, a serial entrepreneur, wrote this book called Failing to Succeed, Vaiti, and he's now an entrepreneur who makes this amazing drink which he has patented called Again. And he has documented this book, and I credit him that he bared his heart out. He went through a brutal entrepreneurial experience and documented that in this book. And he teaches that. He talks about it. Ki, entrepreneurship is not fun. So please document books like this. Vaiti, good job. I'm very proud of you, and I'm a big fan of your drink and this book. So this is one. The second book which I found in India, which a friend of mine recommended, and I've not met this person, is this book by Prashant Desai. It's called The Biography of a Failed Venture. Very racy book, but literally tells you the underbelly of entrepreneurial ventures and the madness and the greed and the failures. And I'm glad he wrote this book. And I will write to him one day and tell him that it's a great book. And it's about this amazing story where he creates a entrepreneurial venture of shoes which goes completely bananas. And I want all of us to write these books more. Parents, educators, please document your failures. Read your emails of rejections to your children. Tell them it is absolutely normal to go through it every day. And also help them realize that their anatomy of failure, the reason they are so anxious is the multiple emotions they are going through and the pressures they are suffering from and the horrible issues they are dealing with because of peer pressure. And if you can create that environment of failing spectacularly, help them change those emotions from pressure and fear to enthusiasm and play, I think they'll be able to deal with failures a lot better. Failure should become a very common discussion in our household, in our workplaces, and that will come when we follow the concepts of trick shots and failing spectacularly. Stay safe. Hi there. I hope you're enjoying the videos my team and I are putting together based on the questions you send us. If you like this video, do check out the others on the channel. And also check out the courses I and my team of experts teach on communication, confidence, collaboration, curiosity, creativity, and competence on our website some.education. That's some.education. All the details are in the description box below. Last not least, please do like, share, and subscribe to our videos. They really help us. I do videos every Sunday 5 p.m. based on your questions. So keep them coming and stay tuned.